So it would appear that Kanye West cares more about the approval of people, the validation of people, than he does the approval of God. And how did I come to this conclusion? Well, I was just recording another video, which I'm now no longer going to record because this hit me in the middle of the video, where I was talking about when I decided to study about the fear of God, right? So, and how I decided and what I decided to study. So when I decided to study it, what I came across this teaching. And in this teaching, the guy was explaining that, fear of God, or whoever you fear, whatever you fear, it's the way you can figure what that is whose approval are you seeking out? And he used the example of King Saul, which I mentioned in one of my previous videos about Kanye as well, where King Saul cared more about what the people thought, because the people were complaining and getting upset by what he was doing, than he cared about obeying the Lord, right? And obeying the instructions, the very clear instructions of God, right? I'm not even going to go there. But another Bible character just dropped into my spirit just as I was saying that. Anyway, I'm not going to go there in this video. Anyways, oh gosh. So that's what he was talking about. And I started to think about what Kanye was actually saying. And you know what's funny here? The thing about life, and this is sometimes why I think the fact that I've said so many words on YouTube is nuts. Because a lot of the times, I think you guys know this as well, just from me talking. When you speak, what you say is revealing, isn't it? Like as the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So it was very revealing that he mentioned, maybe I'm in heaven now, I've been number one, this, that, and the other. And I started to think a little bit like, but who cares? Because that was my thinking. You guys know, like, I don't care about being famous. I could not care less about being famous. In fact, the whole reason me and God have had a hard time and I've been a little bit disobedient in some areas is because I'm like, God, I don't actually want to have a platform. Because I don't want to be seen. I really don't care. Like, I actually physically don't care. And so me and God have gone back and forth. He's like, but I need you to talk about this stuff and I need you to do this stuff. And I'm like, Lord, but can I just not just. And when I actually started my channel, by the way, mind you, my intention all along was that you were never gonna see my face. But then anyway, so I don't regret it, because I think the Lord was correct, and it's good for me to show my face and for people to hear my voice, especially as a Black woman and a young Black woman. I think it's important for people to be able to see that, whatever. So I was listening to what he was saying, and I just thought, you actually care so much about what other people think. That's the problem. You're looking for, because to me, being number one on Billboard, which, if we're being honest, if we're being completely deadly honest, for anybody who's aware of what we talk about to do the entertainment industry on this channel, right? Half of these charts and things are faked anyway. Because I remember the other day I was listening to an interview in Chunks and Philly, who are two other UK like YouTubers. And they just were saying in some interview, some random clip somewhere, that they realized that the people who are seen as number one streaming on platforms, on Billboard and Spotify's and things like that, is definitely tampered with, because they were saying that when their song dropped, they had like the highest number of, according to what we were being told, they had the highest number of, they could see they actually had the highest number of views for, or streams in like 24 hours of any of the songs that had dropped on the same day. But then the next day, like, the things had changed or something like that. I can't remember exactly how they described it, but basically they were like, they realized, oh, this is what the industry does. Like, they can't have us be on top. There has to be somebody that is theirs. And now that I come to think about it, I wonder if that's why one of the reasons KSI is not making music now that he's not in the label, because he's realized the system and he doesn't want to get involved in it, and why they were allowing him to do so well before, because he was in the system. Anyway, so we know, even from the whole Tom McDonald stuff, we know that these billboards and these charts are not even real. It's not even that just because it says, oh yeah, you had 100 million streams, that there was actually 100 million streams. If Sony and Universal and all those lot came together and decided they wanted to concoct that to be the thing that they wanted to have this week to make you look like the number one star, do you know what? It's actually kind of like similar to Scientology, if you think about it. Like how Scientology likes to act like. I wonder what the real numbers of things are out there. And you know what, another thing I wonder what would be the real numbers if it wasn't for these algorithms as well, and for all these people controlling stuff. I feel like, anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Well, I am and I'm not, because this is what I'm saying. Like, so I'm thinking, Kanye, who's this is me, a humble 26-year-old gal with my little humble amount of subscribers, who at the moment is just working, teaching the youth of tomorrow and doing some other things that the Lord has me doing, right? So if I can piece that together, and to me, I've come to the conclusion that these things are meaningless, not just because it is meaningless, because these people don't know me. So yeah, of course it's easy to love what you're doing at a distance. Of course it's easy for people to love your music and whatnot, but they don't know you personally. They don't love with you. And again, we've seen how fans even act. And again, all these things I'm saying are things he would know better than, far greater than me. Even with the fans are fickle. We've seen this so much. We saw this even with Little Mix and all this stuff to do with Jessie Nelson and stuff that we've been talking about on this channel. And one of the issues even Jessie Nelson's had is because she hasn't been releasing music to some of her ex-fans. Now, obviously, her true fans are sticking by, even though I know you guys, shout out to any of the Now Angels were baddies community. Is that official, by the way, if anybody's watching from Jessie Nelson's fans? I know that you guys are like so patiently waiting, despite genuinely wanting so badly for her to like release something. And so I really respect you guys, and I for, you know, actually supporting her. And it's actually nice to see such a lovely fandom. And I still believe that of all the fandoms I've come across, hers is the nicest fandom that's out there. I mean, in comparison to like the Beehive or like flipping Swifties, and these guys are nuts. Right, but we saw how quickly some people were willing to just turn on Jessie as soon as she wasn't doing exactly what they wanted. So again, I'm kind of like, is that something? These are all the things that I've put together as to why I'm not even interested in these things. Because I know it's fickle. I know it's meaningless. I know it's so fickle and so meaningless. There's not even a reality where you can talk to that many people. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, the fact that he seems to be so concerned with that, and that's something to him that he attributes to heaven, is wild to me, because, and it just goes to show the truth of what's really clearly going on deep down. I don't know why I can't speak. Inside of him. And now that I'm thinking about it, you know, Lord, I would love to understand why is it that he would choose that over choosing you, is what I'm trying to wrap my brain around. So Lord, if you want to inform us of that during this video, that would be awesome. But anyway, it's about approval. Fear comes down to approval, because this is something I've even noticed, like with how society works, that a lot of people will literally not do something because of the disapproval that they'll get, this politically correctness. I mean, I've grown up mostly in the UK, and it's a country that the political correctness is through the roof, far more than like in places like America, where people are very much will kind of tell you more what they think and why they think it. You know what I mean? In the UK, you don't, because you're not supposed to rattle the feathers. And that's why I honestly believe, it's another reason I believe that the UK government and the royal family get away with the things that they do, because people are not willing to stand up against what these people are doing out of fear of, you know, losing friends and whatever. Because I mean, that's happened to me. I mean, me just making the simple decision in the last couple of years to do certain things against what, you know, the Lord, we're not talking about the Lord right now, goodness me, the government and things have recommended. I've lost friends and I've lost people just because I'm not willing to because I'm doing something different from what they're doing. And so I've realized that so much of this herd mentality thing is people just don't want to let go of being accepted by others. And honestly, I believe that's why a lot of people don't want to choose the Lord, because it's like, you know, that's not the popular option, and you know you're going to go against the herd. Like even Marcus Rogers, my favorite man of God, he even said, he was like, if you don't lose people when you turn to the Lord, then I would question it, because your people are not going to like the decision that you've made. You're going to lose the approval of others, because you should, because even the Bible says that we're supposed to be in the world, not of the world. Holy, the word holy literally just means to be set apart. It's supposed to be like something that looks different, not something that fits in. And that's something that really upsets me about Christianity, and why I feel that, you know, even cowardice is a sin in the Bible, because it's like, how are you going to be a coward? Like we're reading just now in the book of Acts in chapter 5, how the people of God kept speaking up, even though the Sadducees and all them wanted to kill them again and even beat them up and put them in prison and all of this, but they were trying to silence them. And God's like, well, how am I going to do anything? They're like, we have to keep going because we can't be in fear of you, because we are not looking for your approval. We're looking for God's approval, and we'd rather die with the approval of the Lord than we would live with the approval of people who are going to die just the same as us. And it's just like the Lord says, fear not he who can take your life, but he who can take your life and your soul. You see what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it just goes to a deeper level the more that I'm thinking about this. And it's just kind of sad to me that, like, people are really that desperate for the approval of others. And I mean, I've been there, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I've never been there. I have always been inclined to follow the Lord, and I have always, been clear about my faith to people. And I do always make a point to tell people, like, not in like, you need to turn to the Lord, but like, obviously, and never in a work setting, by the way. Never in a work setting, just to point that out. I'm not one of those teachers that's like shoving my beliefs down people's throats. I don't even have enough time to teach the stuff I need to teach in the first place. And I wouldn't, because it's not my place, they're not my children. Anyway, and so, but even still, I'm like, the approval of others, and even for me, now that I'm thinking about it within myself as we speak, that probably is one of the greatest muzzles of all time, because sometimes I have to sit there, like literally just now, actually, before I started recording this like batch of videos I'm recording this evening, I literally was stood over there, right? And I was pep talking myself, like to leave my videos up and not to take what was a couple of the videos I uploaded yesterday down. So I was like, just leave it there. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Because I'm thinking about what people are going to think. There was a point in time where I also was even checking I would wake up and look where other people wake up and check like the social media. I was waking up and checking my YouTube analytics. Like, it was out of hand. Nowadays, I completely forget that YouTube analytics even exists. So, I forget to even check, but it's cool now that it is cool to check. Like, I realize now all of a sudden Germany is the third most viewing country that is watching me, and then Australia. It's like America. What is it? It's America, UK, Germany, Australia, and what's after that? I can't remember. There was one other country that was after that. And some people are translating my videos into French. Some people are translating my videos into Spanish. Some people are translating my videos into some West African language. So this is very cool, so it is cool. But anyway, there's a point in time where I wasn't finding it cool. I was like obsessing, like, why is it not going up? What do the people think? What if people think that my video is bad? It is a disease that we all suffer from. Let's just say that. Fear of people and then needing the approval and validation of people is something that we all suffer from, but it's something that will keep us from the Lord. It's something that will keep us from God. And actually, it is something that will always cause us to suffer as humans, because people are fickle. One of my favorite songs is A Fickle Game. It's called Fickle Game, my favorite song. My favorite songs are so telling of the life that I've lived, One of my favorite songs is called Fickle Game by, is it Amber Run? Oh, that's a good song. Such a good song. The resistance to just burst into singing it right now. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, it's people are fickle. Like, they like, look at the state even of people getting married nowadays. People will be back in the day, or in the Lord's estimation, marriage is like a very serious contract and oath and agreement that you make. Nowadays, people are just hopping out of that as soon as it doesn't suit them anymore, right? And I was even listening to a video just before I started recording, which I was like, I'm going to finish watching this afterwards so I can really like stop to think about what this guy was actually saying. Because I like to really take the time to meditate on things and not just like be quick to always respond and quick to always have something to say. And so I thought, when I've recorded my videos, I'll listen to this video properly. And basically, this woman had spoken up about how she realized in the last 6 months that white men between the ages of 18 to 30 were like, she doesn't know what disease that they have, not like physical, actual disease, what kind of problem they have, where they just sleep all day and they play video games all night. And she doesn't understand why this is happening and whatever. And obviously this other guy, this white male, I'm assuming he's older than 30, was saying something that I thought was so interesting. And it's something I've noticed even in teaching, right? And he was saying that wow, this is becoming a really deep video. He was saying that that a lot of these guys, because he counsels a lot of these guys in this age bracket. And I also know a man who does counseling for men. In fact, I helped him set up his YouTube channel, which he just reached 12K views on one of his videos, which, praise Jesus. And I literally texted him. I was like, this is winning season. I was like, it's winning season, baby. So really happy for that. And he even said in his message, he was like, and his video was about marriage as well, and he was talking about like 12,000 people now have had access to like what I was saying about such and such, and I was like, this is why we do it, because I knew that the Lord had a plan, and the Lord loves, and the Lord cares about you men out there as well. I just want to let you guys know that the Lord does truly love you guys so much. Anyway, so even if the world doesn't, the Lord does. He was saying that it's because so many of them have basically been told that they're nothing, and it's like everything that's being said to them and how they're being treated, you know what I mean, and the fact that, and he was saying, and this is what the other guy was saying as well, the other dude was a black dude, was saying that the fact that this woman has just woken up to this as an issue, it just goes to show how little society cares about men's mental health. And then they both went on to talk about how it's because of the things that are said to these men. It's because of the way that these men are treated, and that like, and he even said, and this is what I've even said to people before about kids, when you treat kids like nothing, when you treat kids like they mean nothing, they're gonna rise to that occasion. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, it got really deep, and I'm gonna need to watch the rest of that and probably meditate on it for some time. And this is what I'm saying, like in society, it really is important, like for us to actually put God first, because people are not to be depended upon to seek approval from. It's not going to happen. And if it does happen, it's fickle. And if it does happen and it's not fickle, it probably can switch at any amount of time, and it's just too much. It's too much to give to other people. The only person you should be giving that level of power to is God. So when Kanye was like, I'm in control of myself, I'm my own God. But then you're talking about, but I'm on Billboard. Like, who cares about Billboard? You know what I'm saying? One of the most freeing things about having a relationship with the Lord is that I know that to God. And I wrestled through this with God, by the way. We wrestled through this. Part of the reason I decided to stop doing stuff, guys, for a while, is I said, God, I'm going to do nothing, because I don't want to feel like at any point I have to earn your love, and I don't want to feel like I have to earn whatever. And so if you want to still do whatever you want to do, go on ahead. And by the way, when I say things like this to the Lord, I say it out because I'm being genuine. I'm not playing games, and I'm not throwing the toys out of my pram. I'm being like, Lord, genuinely, I don't know how we're going to do this, but I want to form a relationship where I know that, your love for me and your approval doesn't come because of my actions. You know what I'm saying? And so, so we went through that as well. That's what I'm saying. Me and the Lord, we really be going through things. Like, we really be going through the deep stuff. And that's why now, even in my winning season, even now as I'm like doing stuff, and I know God is proud of the stuff that I'm doing, and he is happy. And I do obviously want to do the stuff anyway, because God didn't just put me here to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I still want the Lord's approval of my actions, and I still have to hold myself accountable and everything. But the point is that I've put all of that into the only person who can be entrusted with that level of power. Because as ourselves, deep down, we all know that we can't do the best that we can. Like, I don't know about the rest of y'all out there. I don't know about the rest of the world. But for me personally, I know that I mess up. I know I disappoint myself more than anybody has ever disappointed me. On the best day, I put my best foot forward. Even today, I realized I was having a realization about something. I was like, oh, why am I like this? Lord, help me. You know what I'm saying? And so, it really is just like this whole fear of God thing and the people's resistance to it. I'm like, in the previous video, guys, if you want to hear about the other bits of why it's just logical to fear God, A, because he's the most powerful, B, because why would you not want to be influenced by the person who created this universe and literally knows the secrets to how you're going to thrive on this life? I don't know what the big issue is with that. But on another deeper level, even, if fear does control us to some extent, because it does, right? Because you could argue that the reason why you don't go and eat 12 box of Krispy Kreme every single day is because you fear being unhealthy, right? The word fear and various connotations, this is another reason why I'm not a fan of the English language, but in its various connotations, depending on the way you're looking at it, is it has different meanings. Do you know what I'm saying? And so to me, it just comes down to like, at the end of the day, if after all is said and done, the reason why you really don't want to fear God is just, and you want to be your own God and you want to be you whatever, because fear controls you, don't want to have fear, you're going to fear something. Something is going to matter to you. Because if it wasn't for those things mattering, you wouldn't be turning to, even today, was it today? Yeah, I think it was today. I was listening to, yesterday, it doesn't matter. I was listening to Marcus Rogers again, and it was talking about how, like, these pastors, a lot of them, they when some of these people from the worldly folks come into the church, sometimes these pastors will be trying to, like, then mold to be able to keep them because they're fearful of them leaving. And it's like, this is why our fear has to be in God, because fear in God keeps you on the straight and narrow. Fear of God keeps you on the right path. Fear of God keeps you on the path to thriving. Fear of God keeps you on the path of life. Anything else is going to take you into destruction. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why, anyway, I just wanted to kind of touch on that, because I was just thinking about it. And I don't know, I just felt like before I started this video, I just felt like there was something that needed to be said about, you know, just the wisdom of the Lord, you know, and the fear of God, because you fear him, because you don't want to be on his wrong side. You don't want to mess up you don't want to take yourself off the right path and then hurt not just yourself, but the people that are around you, because sometimes you don't even know how your actions affect others. And that's something that, for me, and some actions I look back at now of myself and I think, if I'd have known that this was gonna have this effect, I would never have done this, even if I feel justified in doing it. I'll give you guys an example. Like, my bless him, God bless him, my younger brother, right, the one who's only a few years younger than me. And I remember there was a time when he told me that he feels like I bullied him growing up. And you know what? I understand what he's saying. Because I've always been a very harsh and blunt person, and I find it funny when people make fun of me. So that's why even when my brothers, whenever they've made fun of me, they always, I always laugh. Like, I find it funny. Even when people insult me, I find it funny. I'm quite a tough cookie in that sense. And also I enjoy being made fun of, because to me, I feel like you can make fun of people that you love. I wouldn't make fun of somebody I didn't like. For example, I would only make fun of somebody I do like because I think it's funny, and I'm that kind of person. So my intentions were not impure, and I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong. It doesn't change the fact that I did obviously hurt him, and obviously have colored some of his growing up in a dark way, you know. And I've said to both of my brothers, I'm like, listen guys, if you need therapy later in life, I'll pay for your therapy. Any therapy related to me, you don't have to say what it is, I'll pay for your therapy. Because you know, but it doesn't change the fact that, you know, that's how he felt about it, and it doesn't. And so if I had in hindsight known better that if I had the wisdom of, you know, like the kind of relationship I have now with God, like in terms of, you know, how he's like a father to me and everything, he is the ultimate father of all time. I might have known that what I was doing or how I wasn't for the best for him, even if I wasn't doing anything maliciously. And obviously we've spoken about it and I've apologized, and, like, you know, but it doesn't change the fact that it's happened now. And now I regret it, because I would never have done that had I known that he would be taking it badly, if that makes sense. And so, you know, and also it would have taken somebody explaining that to me. That's the point. What I'm trying to say about the Lord and what's the importance of the need of God is it would take somebody actually explaining, by the way, the reason why you shouldn't do this is because of this. So that's what I'm saying. You don't think about the actions of what you're doing. And again, for Kanye, like I said, there's so many choices this man has made that have been poor choices. So then again, it's like, and it affects people. It affects people. The family, the mother that he chose for his kids, it's going to affect them. And it's actually awkward watching North and her mum and everything, because people are always like, North is basically like Kanye for Kim and all of that. They growing up in dysfunction now while you're busy being your own God, with all these issues being on all over social media, and having people like Ice Spice come and do TikToks with North and posting on all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a joke, first of all. Second of all, God knows more than we do. That's why we fear him, because he knows better. So I just want to clarify that. Who knew the fear of God was going to be the subject area? And yeah, so anyways, I'm going to leave it there, guys. I just wanted to throw out some thoughts about, you know, the fear of God and why I think it's important. thing to actually do and have, as opposed to something to be like, I want to be my own God. Because I'm like, look at the state of the world, look at the state of your own life. Your life as it is a result of you and other people being their own God. Anything that's happened to you is a result of you and other people being their own God. Because we're all upset with God when things go wrong. We're all ready to point the finger. When things go right, we don't even want to talk to him, and we don't attribute it to him, we attribute it to ourselves, just like Kanye again, with the whole, oh, how are you still alive? Oh, because of me. But then when your prayers didn't get answered, well, why didn't Jesus answer my prayers? Excuse me? And I've had to do this myself, and I've had to do this. Well, that's what you said. You said you did you because of you, so keep being you and keep doing you and keep being your own God. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave that there. And yeah, if life's a game, let's play to win. God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next one.